Woo! Big up to the boys, Fox and Shane. Set your minds free, no locks and chains. Do what you love, roll the dice. 50-50, we cold as ice. One thing cold, but a penny turn red. Can't let that shit go in my head, Wargaming.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome to Hobby Homies. We are your weekly tabletop podcast. I'm Shane, hanging out with Cripple Fox.
Cripple Fox. I love it.
And, of course, Churchy.
I'm in the void.
For those listening, I have a blue cast on my leg, which is what he's referencing. It's actually just a fashion item. I feel great.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Like, why would you go just one, though, and not two? Is that for practicality?
Yeah, absolutely.
Thought
Yeah.
so.
Yeah. I think it's just always fun to, like, you wear a watch on one wrist, not both.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, but you could wear... You know what? That's a missed opportunity.
tell me more about this.
Let's say you constantly need to know the time in, like, London.
Sure.
You could have one watch on your wrist for local time,
Yeah.
one other watch for international time.
I think most people just have digital watches, like smart watches, they're just like, oh, tell me every time from everywhere ever.
I don't wear no iWatch, dude.
I didn't say iWatch explicitly. You're an Android boy. You'd wear a Samsung.
I got an Oppo. You know what? Speaking of Oppos, today I realised this may not be the best phone.
What do you mean? Of course not.
So it does what I wanted to do.
Make calls and texts. I just wanted to make
Were you
calls.
there
Shane's
when I bought
every
this?
70-year-old ever
Were
that
you
comes into
there
a store.
when I bought this phone?
Yeah,
Because you just quoted me then.
I know, it's verbatim.
When I go to send a GIF, now if I go to send a voice message after sending a GIF,
If I want to send an electronic
lags.
moving picture, what?
lags.
What lags?
my phone.
What do you mean? After you send a GIF?
When there's a GIF on the screen in the chat, the messenger chat, it lags, dude.
My bad.
I can't even reply.
bad, yeah.
I can't even like a message because it lags so bad.
We're just waiting for
Can't
it to
do
go
that.
through. Oh, wow.
I can do the, but I can't do the.
Yeah. Damn, dude. What are you going to do about
I
that?
don't know. I get a Nokia 3315.
Well, you'll be able to afford it after we save you some money on this week's episode of Cheapest
War Games.
War Games. Cheapest entry to War Games.
Cheapest entry to War Games. We've done one similar, which was how cheap is Wargaming really?
Oh, yeah.
Back in the day, maybe season 4.
Or was that, did we frame it differently? Did we say how expensive is Wargaming really? I can't remember.
Something like that. And we compared wargaming to other hobbies.
Yeah.
Like backyard chickens,
Yep.
normal hobbies like fishing.
Yeah.
yeah.
Backyard chickens is a normal hobby. That's correct.
Some.
Oh, that's interesting. And we also, and then I was thinking of another episode we did where we talked about how expensive is 40K.
Oh,
And we
yeah.
compared that to other games and stuff.
Yep.
So we've obviously got a fixation with price and money because we spend it every day.
We do. Money is what the world revolves around. Did you know that?
No, I've never heard that before. No one's ever said that. You just coined that phrase live here on Hobby Homies podcast.
what I
Clip
do.
it and remember this moment. It's historic. Yeah, so this episode is sometimes the formula for these episodes. We're very specific with each other.
Yep.
Are you leaving?
No. I'm just getting comfortable.
All right, sit down. Take a seat.
I have.
Listen,
I've been sitting
enjoy,
this whole time.
enjoy.
I've actually been sitting here since last week.
You will, we'll talk more about that later. But that might be more of a, what was your podcast side series called? Magic, miniatures, and
Mental health?
Yeah, it might be on that episode. You've just been sitting here in the darkness of the studio.
I can't wait till podcast night.
It's the only thing that makes me happy.
It's the best thing in my life.
It's all I've got going on, and that's okay. So the formula is sometimes we talk to each other. We're very explicit about what we are trying to do with an episode.
Yeah, like we'll say like, hey, I'm going to do these two games.
There's peek behind the curtain, by the way.
Yeah, a little bit of behind the scenes, just so we don't double up.
Yeah, and then we'll do that as well.
Yeah, and then we still double up.
And then we still double up because we're big dum-dums, but that's okay. And then sometimes we do this where we're like, here's the idea.
Yep.
I'll see you in a week.
Yeah.
And this has been one of those. So I'm very interested to see
Yep.
how you interpret cheapest entry to war games. If you're going to be something silly like, well, everything's a war game if you're crazy enough.
I'll cross that one off.
Yeah, I can see that. And again, verbatim. You can use your Oppo phone as a Space Marine.
Oh, well, it'd be a pretty bad Space Marine.
Yeah, lag.
More like a Lehman Russ.
So that's what we're going to do. And this episode, I think, will be good for people that are genuinely like fringe war gamers. Maybe you're doing something else in the tabletop space.
Like a board game, like heavy board game. Like a lot of board games have miniatures these days.
They do. They're good gateways for that reason. Things like
yeah.
Zombicide and Gloomhaven and
Yep.
everything. And so you might be sitting there going, I want to make the plunge into a war game, but all I've heard about is this Warhammer thing, and that sounds like
Oh,
expensive.
yeah. Warhammer 40K. It costs you 40K to get started.
That's why they call
That's
it that.
the meme.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I haven't heard that for a long time. Should probably
I
cost you
think you just
80K
coined
these
that.
days.
Clip that. You're watching history.
Jesus,
I've got a very short memory.
I'm just full of it tonight.
You are full of it.
Yep.
I feel like you're full of it every night.
Most nights.
Most nights.
Most days.
So I think it'll be good, but also people that are currently in the tabletop wargaming space who may just want to hear one and be like, oh, a cheap entry into another game is like
Yeah.
a little side project.
Sometimes it can be the push that it takes your friend. You know, like someone's kind of like on the edge. It's like, yeah, but I'd rather spend my money on things that I'll enjoy.
Yeah.
Well, it's like now you can spend very little money on something that you won't enjoy.
Yeah, but I'll have fun and you will get joy out of my joy.
Absolutely. That's
Churchy
how
knows.
good
That's kind of
friendships work.
His whole tabletop gaming, everything.
He's only
ethos.
here because he knows we have a good time.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I live my hobby through you guys.
He does. Vicariously.
Vicariously. Vigorously. So,
Furiously.
so tell me, Shane, what do you got?
Well, I've got a couple of options.
Okay.
So I went with the absolute cheapest entry I could find.
Okay, sure.
So it involves purchasing a couple of things. Like you could just say like, you go to your neighbor's kid and like just raid all his like toys, right?
for sure, yeah.
Or your own
theft
kids if
or-
you have kids, or if you're allowed near kids, or something.
I feel like you're catching everyone, which is good.
That's what we
You're
do.
all inclusive.
Cast a wide net.
Yeah, cast a very wide net.
Yeah.
Hey, if you're not allowed around kids, this is the podcast for you.
I mean,
We're all inclusive here. So,
depends.
I mean, yeah, obviously it depends.
Depends.
Like if you punched a kid because you got really mad,
That's fine.
that's okay.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
we've all been there.
Let's just leave it at that, though.
All right, cool.
So the cheapest,
Or if
Georgie,
Jetty, get the button. Hover over the red button. Hey, there's only one red button. It says mute Fox.
Yeah.
What, like he doesn't say dumb shit? Anyway,
you're right.
Hey, everyone, wait, he's about to do it.
he's going to do the thing.
He's going to do the thing.
So the absolute cheapest entry, right? So first, you're going to need miniatures.
Okay.
Models of the sorts.
Sure.
I found here in Australia, you can go into a little shop called the Reject Shop,
Yep.
which as most of our listeners are from like North America, it's probably the equivalent of like,
Hey, man, don't take us down a path.
Dollarama.
Down a
Dollarama.
path,
Maybe? I
but
don't
you,
know.
you didn't have a lantern.
It's dark.
Didn't have a machete?
Dark path.
Yeah.
So you can buy a 20-piece pack
Okay.
of good old-fashioned green and tan army men.
Oh, yeah.
$2.
Yeah, okay.
$2, right?
So you're saying you want to buy some more, you want to get into the tabletop game, step one,
Yep. $2.
buy some soldiers.
Buy some soldiers. Green
Okay.
and tan, two forces right there.
All right.
Some kids have like just troops. Some kids have tanks and all kinds of vehicles. Now you're going to need some tools.
Classic.
And by tools, I mean a tape measure,
Okay.
retractable,
Naturally.
and
Imagine a
Dice.
1 meter ruler.
you just probably knock everything off the
Yeah.
table every time.
I just
Yeah,
want to
yeah.
measure around this corner real quick. Snap it in half.
Yep. So tape measure, retractable,
Yeah.
$5.50
Okay.
from Kmart, right?
Cha-ching. I
Which-
feel like if this was like, this is not new churchy, this is live edit, but if we were a high production thing
Yep.
and this was like a not live recorded episode,
Yep.
you'd have one of those like little tallies in the thing.
Oh,
So
yeah. Like
I'll
in the
be
bottom
that
corner.
tally.
Sure.
Cha-ching. Wait, what were the numbers?
We're up to $7.50.
I see you've obviously got it on your thing and you don't need me at all, but I would like to participate.
Sure, you need to do something.
Cha-ching, we're up to 750.
$7.50. All right, cool.
Is this USD?
No, this is AUD.
All right, cool. So only like
So
$1 American.
our
Sweet.
version of Kmart is closer to your version of Walmart, but less guns.
Okay,
So, because Kmart in America is a thing, but it's different.
right. Yeah, they have a lot of guns.
They so many
Like
guns.
when I went to Dick's Sporting Goods over there, I was just like, you slowly work your way around. I was like,
It's
oh,
like,
cool, footballs.
yes, baseball bats, footballs,
I was like, oh,
basketballs,
compound bows.
rifles.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, compound bows.
They had like a nice
Hockey
like
sticks.
little pink. I guess it was like a 9mm, a tiny little like adorable
like
pistol.
a little Glock,
Yeah, like a little Glock.
but it was pink.
It was pink. It was
For your
bright
handbag,
pink.
of course.
It was $45. I was like, that seems very cheap.
No wonder there's so many guns. Never mind.
Yeah. So no. Yeah. Okay. Never mind. Let's see how many taboo topics we can brush over,
Sure.
dance over today.
Sure.
We've touched on children.
You have touched children.
on. All right, $7.50.
$7.50.
Buying a
Tape measure.
Glock. Oh,
No, I'm not buying a Glock today.
okay, no Glock.
30. Yes, you heard 30 pack of D6s.
Uh-huh.
$6
From Walmart.
from
Kmart.
Kmart.
All right, cool.
Yep.
Sure. Yep.
And
Cha-ching.
of course, you need rules.
Yep.
1-page rules, my friend.
So you're thinking,
That shit's free.
oh, I don't know how to add zero plus
Plus
zero. There we
zero.
go.
Yep.
I figured it out myself.
Total should be $13.50.
How'd you know? Yeah, okay, so $13.50, you're playing 1-page rules
Yep.
without terrain with army men.
Yep.
That's what you came up with.
Yep.
See, he needs a big red button.
What do you mean?
Nah, it's good. It's good.
I got a bunch of other stuff, but I'll let you, I don't know, talk some shit for a minute.
Yeah, no, I'll bounce off that because the cheapest entry I could find, I was like, all right, so I assume they have 0 minis,
Yep.
paints, terrain.
So you went paints.
I went out. I'm assuming they're not in the hobby at all.
Yeah, but like, hang on.
So I'm assuming they don't have minis,
Yeah.
don't have paints,
Yeah.
don't have terrain, don't have tables, etc.
Yeah.
They got nothing.
So they got no what, kitchen table?
No, I mean, they don't have like, battle maps or like a 6x4 table. Like, they're
Yeah,
not
but you
ready.
don't need that, right? We didn't start with that.
Nah,
We didn't even start with terrain.
Yeah, truth.
Paints was
Optional.
optional. Yeah.
Till like last year.
Yeah.
So I was like, all right, well, if I assume they have 0,
Yeah.
like they've walked in off the street, they've just gotten over their opioid addiction, and they're like, I want to play Warhammer, but I've got nothing.
Sure.
Or I want to play a
One
tabletop
addiction
game.
to another.
Right, plastic crack.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I found, you were talking about 1-page rules, they actually have like starter sets. And these starter sets are amazing because it gives you free rules, free STLs, free printable like standee characters,
Oh, like paper minis.
paper minis,
Yeah.
and then everything else that you need.
Sure.
So the only thing you're then lacking is terrain, but if you're playing with paper minis
And dice.
and dice,
Tape measure.
but tape measure, as we established, is $2.50.
$5.50
I actually think that
for the retractable one.
right. I think they probably have that. Like you could probably cut one out. I'm not sure. I can't remember exactly what was in the starter set.
Yeah.
But it looked like it had like everything.
Okay.
And it was 0 monies.
Hang on. You're saying it's free.
I'm saying it's free.
Free.
It's free. And I think they have one for Age of Fantasy and for Grimdark Future.
Okay.
And I didn't know that existed until we were looking at this. I was like, a free starter set where you can just print out the minis, have the rules there.
Yep.
It's got STLs for tokens and everything, so assuming it has the printable versions for all that as well. And I was like, damn, people can actually play 1-page rules for free. And then you've got files that you can give to a friend to print up if you want to start gatewaying that way.
True. That's actually, yeah.
Yeah. You
like
thought
it.
I was going to say something garbage, but
Yeah, that's actually good.
yeah. So it's basically the same as your idea, except we trade army men for paper standees. So people have
Yep.
the two options. If they prefer to play with something tangible, physical, that isn't a piece of paper,
Yeah.
go with Shane's option. But if you want to start with the standees, see if you like the game.
And to a board game player, that's probably fine.
Yeah.
Nice, dude. Good find.
Oh, thanks, man. Yeah, I just Googled 1-page rules free, and it was like the first thing that popped up. So have a little suss of that. It's very cool. It shows you what's in the actual sets in the 3D realm.
Yep.
But obviously then your only barrier is sort of terrain. But yeah, like we said,
You can
we
get
play
2D,
Warhammer.
2D terrain.
It might even be in that set.
Yeah.
I deleted the tab that had that in favor of all my other tabs
Sure.
about how much the clocks are at the sporting goods. So
Nice, dude.
I think that's
Well done.
that's a good gateway. The two options we gave is basically 1-page rules because that's a free rule set.
Yeah, it is. Yep.
So even if you have other miniatures from board games or whatever it is, or maybe you've gone down to a garage sale and you found a bunch of old dirt, or you've eBayed a bunch of old dusty Space Marines or whatever,
Yeah.
all you need is the minis and the table, and 1-page rules will have the rest for you.
Absolutely.
Full scale, skirmish, gang wars, whatever. 1-page rules.
Not sponsored, actually.
Not yet.
No, yeah. No,
Not yet. But my throat's getting pretty sore. All right.
Well,
Segue into the next one.
okay. So the way I went was like the absolute cheapest way you could move minis and roll dice, right?
Okay.
if you were interested in the hobby itself as to like painting miniatures,
Sure.
probably one of the best things that I sort of found for that aspect, which would cover in theory everything, was like the Mortal Realms or the Imperium
Great.
magazine subscription.
Yeah, because that has some paints, right?
Comes with paints every sort of few issues. It comes with brushes and tools and like all that sort of stuff that you would actually need if for someone to, obviously it limits you directly to 40k, Age of Sigmar, whatever. But for someone who's like got nothing, you start with the basics and you build up and you also learn the rules as you go.
Yeah.
So for $20 Australian per an issue,
Yeah.
which they're a weekly thing, subscription-based kind of thing,
Yeah.
pretty reasonable.
Yeah. It's like a slow drip. So
Yeah,
it's like, it's
yeah.
not the cheapest, over 2 months you've spent $160. But you have definitely more than 160 retail. Like that, those magazines on their own compared to their retail counterparts are
Yeah.
always valuable.
There are some that you lose on, like you might have 2 paints in there.
Oh, really?
Although even though nowadays it's probably
Do you just,
on par.
Can't you just not get those? Oh, no, once you subbed, you're...
Well, it depends how you do it. If you are friendly with your news agent, you can say, you can look at these because they come out in the UK first.
Yeah.
You can look at the completed list and say, all right, there's 10 issues in there I'm not interested in.
Yeah.
I can just opt out of those. And your news agent just won't order that one.
Yeah, cool.
So
That's
yeah.
pretty cool. I like that.
Yeah, pretty good. But then you can take those minis that you've got and you can play one-page rules or
Fact.
a miniature agnostic game
Yeah.
or whatever you would like. You don't have to sort of stick to that rule set because one thing it doesn't really come with is a big fat rule book.
Yeah, facts.
So it sort of drip feeds you the rules to a very, very basic format.
Yeah, and I think there are so many like rule books under $2, $5 free in case of one-page
There's
rules.
so many on Wargame Vault that are like pay what you want.
Yeah.
So
And
you
you're
can.
like, oh, I want to pay $0.
You can.
You
kind of can.
You can.
Kind of stitches up the person that made it, but
I mean, they said pay what you want.
True.
Don't say it if you don't mean it. That's what I'm
True.
saying.
That's-
I've never paid $0. I don't know if it was going to be good. The thing is, you can buy it
let's
for
give him
$0.
$1.
You can buy it for $0.
Yeah.
Flick through it. Be like, actually, there's more in here than I thought.
Yeah, this is worth like
This is
$5.
worth. Yeah, I'll go in and flick them more.
Yeah, true.
So that's pretty cool.
True.
But yeah, so getting the miniatures usually for tabletop gamers is the toughest part. Luckily, like you said, so many board games come out with cool stuff, but sometimes they're not the right scale. Most war games are played at 28 mil. So I like your drip feed yourself. Freed? Did I say that?
Yeah, I heard it.
Did I say that?
You said that.
Drip feed yourself miniatures
Yeah.
via that slightly cheaper per week
Yeah.
option. Hey, if you do want to get into the Games Workshop ecosystem, because you're one of those people that's like, if I get into something, I want to get into the most popular thing, so I have
Yeah.
a lot of support
Yeah. And opponents.
and opponents and all that kind of stuff, community pages and feedback and help, all that stuff.
Yeah.
I think, although it's not cheap in the realm of money, it's cheap in the realm of Warhammer.
Yeah.
I feel like the best entry into it is the Underworld starter set.
Oh, true.
At $100 that you can split with a friend,
Yep.
$50 each, you actually get everything.
Yeah. To play Underworlds.
Everything
Yep.
that you need to play 2 players. Because that game doesn't need terrain. You need a board and some tiles. It comes with all of that. It comes with the cards that you need. The models are push fit, so you don't have to buy any tools.
Yeah.
Except you clippers, right?
You'd probably want clippers.
But you could get some cheap ones for this.
I'm sure Kmart sell them.
A hobby knife if you really wanted to do it that way.
Oh, yeah.
I've done that before when I couldn't find my clippers.
Yep.
But you don't need to glue them. You push fit. They're color coded, all the war bands.
Yep.
So that's kind of a board
blue
game
versus tan.
So you don't even have to paint them. And then it's a great gateway because you've got those little war bands.
Yep.
You can play that game over and over again. If you like it, you can move on by buying like a Rivals deck for, what are they now, $20 to $40?
Yeah, I think they're up there.
They're getting up there,
They're
aren't
up
they?
there, right? Yeah, I think
Yeah.
they're up the $40 mark.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure.
The good thing about the Rivals deck, though, is you can buy it and that's it. You don't need to like keep buying cards. And
Yeah, you're not building that deck.
Yeah, so that's cool. Or if you like different war bands, they're 60. You know, it's a bit of a gateway, obviously, into the bigger stuff. But if you're talking about, I want to dabble, handful of miniatures, but I don't want to worry about all the extra stuff, all the
Yep.
peripherals, that box has it all and you can split it with a mate.
And you could also use the miniatures for Age of Fantasy Skirmish
Yeah,
for free.
for free. For free. Absolutely.
Yep. I went through a few what I call all-in-ones,
Okay.
like the box you just mentioned, but I've got about 5 here boxed sets.
Okay.
You'd almost call them a starter set.
Sure.
That you could purchase. Generally, they're 2 players. I think all of these actually are 2 players. So you could, in theory, look at the prices half.
Yeah.
Share it with a friend.
As we always do when we see a box, I'm like, oh, wow. Fjord Serpents is 140. That's 70 each. That's doable.
yeah. Yep.
That's doable.
Yep. So Mantic's Dead Zone,
Yeah.
which is their sci-fi full scale game,
Sure.
$180 Australian.
Okay.
So $90 each, right? You get everything you need to play: rules, miniatures. I think a bit of terrain too. Yeah, a bit of terrain as well.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Terrain's a nice
Yeah.
touch.
The Warhammer 40k Ultimate box, the big old box, which comes with terrain, 2 armies. Now that's $300 recommended retail.
So you're talking about, you're telling people about the different levels.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
cheap is
Yeah.
a ambiguous term.
Yeah, I mean, like all of these, maybe 2 of them I would consider cheap.
Yeah.
But the first 3, absolutely not.
Okay. Sure.
Right.
Sure.
So, 40k Ultimate box, recommended retail $300. You can generally find it for like 10 to 15% off.
Yeah.
Around.
Sure.
Dystopian Wars, which is a very strange naval fleet game.
Ooh, I like strange. What do you mean by strange?
It's like, I'm looking at the miniatures and I'm like, this looks like it should not be a naval game. Like everything is kind of far enough sci-fi advanced that it's like, why is there even boats? Like they could easily
yeah,
be,
okay.
they could easily be spaceships,
right.
you know?
Interesting.
Or like land vehicles or something.
I know what you mean. When we were playing Beyond All Reason, there were so many like cool boats
Yeah,
that had like thrusters on. I'm like, this just feels inefficient going through
Yeah,
the water
right.
when we could like
Yeah, fly.
we have the technology.
fly.
Yeah, we have
Yeah,
flight.
that game.
yeah.
Yeah, great game. The subs are very cool in that game. Beyond All Reason, free. While we're
Free,
talking about
right?
cheap war games.
Yeah, it's a free PC game.
Yeah.
So that's $180 again. So you can split that $90 each. Drop Zone Commander,
Oh, that's so hard to get your hands on, isn't it?
maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
I found it online though.
Oh.
It was $80.
Oh,
I think you can still get it.
far out. People
Yeah.
have been. I feel like. No, sorry, I'm thinking of something else. I think
Drop
of
Fleet Commander.
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
so.
that was like a naval game. Drop Zone Commander.
Yeah.
was the 28mm sort of full scale war game.
Sure, yeah, I must be thinking of Drop Fleet or whatever it's called because that's what people were using for Billion Suns.
Oh yeah.
They're like, oh, get
Yep.
this. It's the best way to get into Billion Suns.
Yep. So that's $80.
Okay.
Yep. And
Cool.
last but not least is X-Wing, $60.
Is that how much the starter is?
Yeah.
It's pretty good. It's not really. That's another thing. Like a lot of the starter sets aren't the full experience of the game.
No, they're generally not even like 3/4 of the game.
Yeah, that's what was something that I was like, this is. I mean, people would argue against this, I suppose, but the starter set for Underworlds, I feel like that's the full experience.
Yeah.
People would argue against that because they say, yeah, it's all the miniatures and everything, but big part of that game is crafting the deck and getting more cards and all
Yeah.
that stuff, which
Yeah.
you only get a small part of. So yeah, I get that. But I mean, it is if you get enough miniatures and you take that across to something that, like, I don't know, a 1-page rules, for example,
Yep.
then it would be the full experience because you
Yeah.
can kit that army up so that it is the full amount of points and you're playing the full game, which is cool.
Yep.
Something I wanted to talk about that kind of takes anything that you've got and turns it into a war game.
Sure.
We'll talk about War Surge.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if there is, in terms of a full rule set and using whatever miniatures or items around the house you have,
Yep.
if there is a cheaper entry, to be honest.
That's true.
Because what is the PDF for the War Surge main book? I don't know. I can't remember.
I couldn't tell you, but we actually just got our copy of the book the other day.
Is it sitting? You can see it almost behind Shane. It's up there. War Surge, Universal Miniature War Game.
Yeah.
That's
so
like
their
hardcover.
Kickstarter is fulfilled and everything's in the post. That one was hand delivered to us.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah.
By one of the
By
Brothers
Nicholas.
Grimm.
Yeah.
I'm just looking up War Surge PDF because I wanted to give people an idea of what
Yeah.
it might cost.
I'm not sure if it's for sale yet, but backing that book was about $100.
Yeah,
but
nice.
that was like the full. I think the book probably retailed for around Anywhere between 80 and 100, I'm going to say.
Hardcover.
Yeah, hardcover, and it is a thick boy.
They have free rules. It's a quick
yeah.
way to learn to play. Available as both dark and print friendly.
It's also got the app. They started as an app.
Yeah, the app was great.
Yeah.
So definitely check out War Surge. Go to warsurge.com.
Yep.
Have a sus, because the way that works is you can grab this vacuum cleaner.
Yep, that's
an item, and pin it against those 2 crutches that are next to it.
true.
And basically you build it's got like a points per stat kind of system.
Yep.
So like, all right, I want it to have 10 wounds, and then that makes it X points. You're like, I want to give it this special ability, more points. And so you can create your list, and all those stats and points are balanced. So it's sort of like, we've thought about a lot of really cool ideas where you could bring a big Bane blade from Games Workshop and make that 1,000 points.
Just a massive, absolute beast of a machine.
And then I could bring a bunch of Skaven rats or pirate ships or something and put it in War Surge. It's really great for that, because you can grab a friend who may play different games or just have board games and say, hey, download this app or this PDF. You build your list. I'll build my list. Previously, we were playing 2 different games. Now we're playing the same game. It's balanced.
Yeah, just make it 1,000 points each or whatever.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's very cool. So War Surge, highly rate that for anyone looking to even just switch up how they play. But it is the cheapest entry, I think, for people that already have miniatures or items that they can use.
If you were to pit that vacuum cleaner against those crutches there, WYSIWYG, who do you think would win?
I feel like the vacuum cleaner.
Really?
Yeah. I just feel
I don't know, dude.
It's got wheels.
Yeah, it's mobile, sure, but it's all
got
it does
power.
is suck.
That has gotten...
But
society is built on that.
Those crutches would beat the absolute shit out of it. What's it going to do? Vacuum them up?
Are you thinking like if a person got involved and held those crutches and started whacking off on that vacuum cleaner?
Yeah.
Then yeah. That's a big buff.
Hang on. You're thinking 2 inanimate objects will just fight.
If they had to, if push came to shove, or if limp came to suck, then yeah, I think so. I think they would. I think they'd last longer than us, that's for sure.
Probably.
I think if we left those 2 objects here and just let time tick away, I feel like that vacuum cleaner comes out on top. I feel like you come back here in a million years, there's just a vacuum cleaner.
Really?
Yep. No
I don't know,
crutches.
those medical grade crutches there are just...
Medical grade.
I guess the hospital gave them to you for free?
Yeah.
Yeah, true. They're
Medical grade.
They're from Wish, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. The Temu.
Yeah.
The Temu crutches.
Look at that padded handle.
Ugh. Anyway, I think I had a few other games. Games that use existing items from the house.
Sure.
Gaslands.
Yeah. Matchbox cars.
Matchbox cars.
Jeez, I forgot about Gaslands completely.
How dare you?
I know.
So I think the PDF is about $15, $20. The hardcover book,
Excuse me.
maybe $40, $50, maybe more.
Yeah.
But it's a full fleshed out rule book that uses kit bashed, or for the new people, we basically take a Matchbox car and you add stuff to it from different kits or whatever to give it guns and dirty it up and sort of have a Mad Max race, kill everyone kind of
You
vibe.
don't even need to, though.
You don't have to. You don't. You just grab Matchbox
You could
car
just
and play.
race.
Yeah. So that assumes that you are in the vicinity of a Matchbox. And if you're not, what can you buy? Like the cheap ones from a $2 shop?
I'm going to say you're always within at least 15 meters of a Matchbox car.
It's like the Wikipedia rule where you're always 6 clicks away from Hitler or something. Have you heard that?
No.
There you go.
I've heard of one like 6 feet away from a spider or something like
We're
that.
getting the YouTube demonetization bingo.
Is that what that is?
Yeah, and so I had to hit the Hitler one.
Of course, yeah, it's fine. So we've crossed off gun violence, Hitler, not even going to go there. Children.
Yeah.
What's next on there?
Well, we've got
Can't read it from here.
we've got sucking and crutches.
Oh yeah,
Sucking and crutch.
I guess we'll cross that one off. We hit that.
Yeah, I think we hit that pretty well.
yeah.
What's next? You all heard about that Donald Trump guy?
Good lord.
It just says either we have to love him or hate him, and either gets us banned, so we're pretty good. What else is in there? Oh, I don't know if I'm going to say that
I'm
one.
not going to go there.
No, I don't even know if we can say
Let's
that.
just leave that one alone.
Yeah. Free, what's that say? All right. So Gaslands, if you're 6 clicks away from Hitler, you can get yourself a car.
Yep.
What was the Lego game that you talked about?
Brick Wars.
Brick Wars. I did write that, but I didn't want to embarrass myself. So, Brick Wars, that's cool. If you've got Lego, there's a rule set for that.
Yep.
And War Surge, classic.
Nice.
Classic me, always interfering with my own works.
Interrupted yourself.
This is how this feels.
Yeah.
I hate it. How do you do this every week?
It's hard,
How do you do
dude.
it?
It's taken-
Every week.
It's taken 4 years, but I'm
Dead inside.
there. yeah.
I've worn you down. Cool.
Yep.
So hopefully that has given you some ideas about something.
Yeah, I mean, at least something.
Yeah. You've
If
either
not cheap entry to wargaming.
facts. There's a few options there.
Yep.
Definitely by far we've found the most universal things that you can get involved with are
Yeah.
one-page rules and War Surge.
Mm-hmm.
The ability to just use those for any models you have and be able to play the game in a way that you want
Yep.
is invaluable. Invaluable and cheap. obviously.
Absolutely.
So thank you for tuning in
Yeah. Thanks for watching.
and watching. Sorry if you're
Listening.
watching. All you've done is stared at my hairy legs all episode.
It's all I do every day.
Yeah. And I don't see you every day, so that's terrifying but also expected.
Yep.
Because what else can you do? Sit here in your chair and wait for the next podcast episode?
That's what I do.
So strange. Thank you to our patrons. Your continued support helps us buy these cheapest games possible, as
Massive.
many as we can.
Massive thank you to our patrons.
Yeah.
You guys keep the lights on and you keep Fox, I'm going to say out of a cast, but
Well, they've done well so far.
I mean, yeah.
They've done well so far.
But in essence, they failed.
Well, I am in the public system still. One day I hope we make it so hard that I can get private.
Private, dude.
I'll just be like, flex on everyone and
True.
be like, thanks for your money, chumps.
You said public health system
I'm in
and the
private.
Americans are like, what's that?
Yeah. That's on the list. That's on the list.
Bingo!
Bingo. Hey, you got there first.
Canadians
Yeah,
like,
this-
yeah, we got you.
Yeah, this didn't cost me a cent and never will.
Yep.
Except in my
Except your
taxes.
tax. Yeah, you paid-
In fact, that's what they said. I was like, wow, this cast is really cool. They're like, yeah, it's a new one. That's your
You've paid for it.
They're like, that's your tax dollars hard at work. I was
Yeah.
like, yeah, they're not doing anything else for me, so pretty cool. Anyway, what were we saying? Patreon,
Thank you to patrons. Massive shout out to our goats. As always, we have Burnsy, Final Dinosaur, Gridlock, Axe, Anax, MJ, Test Dummy, and Black Apollo.
We got Brandon W, Moose, Elko, Churchy, thanks Churchy, Rad Rooster, Ollie, Hawkers, Penny, Aggro, Don Hua, Don, Pure Blind, Primal Nerds, Jackson V, Fat Boy, and Big Roach. We had a new Patreon.
We have a new Patreon. I have it here written down in front of me.
While you
There
do
we go.
that, let us know.
Kevin Hubert.
I hate that. I hate it when you do that. Thanks, Kev.
Do what?
Nah. Thanks, Kev. Appreciate you.
Massive shout out to you, Kev.
You're a legend. You're an absolute legend. You could do anything with your money, as we say, because it continuously. I don't understand someone that goes, I'm going to give Shane and Fox money.
Yeah, right.
Maybe they know it goes to church and everyone loves church.
Oh, well, if they don't know, they know now.
Yeah, there you go.
So maybe we'll get. Imagine if tomorrow we wake up and it's got like 20 new patrons.
They're like, my one qualm is that I didn't want to give you irresponsible fuckwards money.
Yeah. But I can give it to Churchy.
But I didn't know it was going to churchy.
Yeah. You know what?
Yep.
Times a Churchy Patreon instead.
Yeah. He actually has his own Patreon. You don't even need
But I
us.
closed mine down.
There you go. Well, now your only choice is to give money to us.
Yeah.
So, sorry, we'll take it, I guess. See you in the Discord, patrons.
To find the Discord, check out hobbyhomies.com.
Yeah, good. You're so proud of that segue. I
am.
set it up for you.
No, you
and
didn't.
you're just like,
That was unintentional.
look at me, I hit the home run myself.
Whereabouts does it hurt?
It hurts in your groin if you follow through with this.
I don't know, dude.
What do you mean?
If I kicked your foot, you would not then use that same foot to kick me in the dick and balls.
No, I would punch you in the dick and balls.
Oh, okay.
After I'm done crying
Yep.
and I go to the hospital to get it checked out again,
Yep.
I come back here while you're asleep, having good dreams.
In his chair.
Yeah, in the chair. Can't wait to podcast next week. Bam! Awoken. Awoken. You probably break my fingers if I catch you at the right stage of your sleep. Anyways, we'll see you next week.
Nice.
Woo! Big up to the boys, Fox and Shane. Set your minds free, no locks and chains. Do what you love, roll the dice. 50-50, we cold as ice. One thing cold, but the penny turn red.